Welcome to Clever Money Hacks, the channel where money moves and life improves. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the one specific trait, or maybe a collection of traits, that you need to survive and, well, to actually win in the AI era.
And honestly, if you've been feeling that, low-level hum of anxiety about where this is all going, you are definitely not alone. It feels like every week there's a new update that makes some skill we spent 10 years mastering obsolete.
Totally. I was talking to a friend just the other day, a copywriter, and he was spiraling, asking, does my job even exist in 2 years? So if you're wondering how on earth you stay relevant when software is getting smarter every single day, this is the deep dive you need.
It really is. Today we're breaking down insights from Dan Martell. And for anyone who doesn't know the name, this isn't some guy who just bought a ChatGPT subscription yesterday and decided to be a guru.
No, not at all.
He's an entrepreneur who has been building AI companies and, completely redesigning workflows for the last 5 years.
Right. He's been in the trenches, he's seen the code, he's built the teams, and he has this premise that grabbed me immediately. It's a bit of a scary premise, but stick with us because it really flips the narrative.
It does. The standard fear is just robots are faster than me. But Martell's argument is that people aren't going to be replaced by AI just because it's faster. That's the lazy assumption.
Right.
The real threat is that AI is mastering the actual hard skills humans have relied on for decades.
The technical stuff, like coding, data analysis, structuring legal arguments.
Exactly. If your value to the marketplace is, I can do this technical task, you are in trouble. The winners in this new era won't be the tech bros or the people who are the absolute best at Python. The winners are going to be the people who fundamentally shift their psychology.
So we've got a roadmap for this conversation. We're going to unpack 4 specific mindset shifts around learning, taste, vision, and care, and then wrap it all up with the ultimate skill, which Martell calls becoming a director rather than a doer.
Let's dive into that first one because I think it addresses that anxiety we just mentioned.
That fear that using AI just makes us dumb.
Right. There is this prevailing anxiety that if we let an algorithm do the thinking for us or, write the email for us, our own cognitive muscles will just atrophy. It's actually very similar to the panic that happened when the pocket calculator became popular.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Teachers were convinced it would ruin math skills forever.
You won't always have a calculator in your pocket, they'd say.
Which is just hilarious in hindsight, isn't it? We now carry the sum of all human knowledge in our pockets. But the reality, according to our source, is that AI shouldn't be a crutch. It should be a trainer. It allows you to do more, not less.
Okay, let's unpack this with a great story from the source material. This is about Martell's own kids. So they're being homeschooled, right? And the school they were using previously actually said, no AI for homework. Banned it.
Which is a very common reaction. It's the anti-cheat defense. Right. But Martell took the complete opposite approach. He didn't want them using AI to just spit out an answer because, yeah, that's cheating and you learn nothing. He wanted them to use AI to learn.
So he reframed the tool.
Exactly. He sat down with them and created this specific system prompt based on what they were actually obsessed with.
And for kids, that's usually not dry academic theory.
No. For his kids, it was soccer and Cristiano Ronaldo. So he set up the AI to teach them physics, math, and English, but entirely through the lens of Ronaldo.
That is brilliant. It just contextualizes everything.
It is. Imagine learning physics by analyzing the trajectory of a free kick, or learning math by calculating transfer fees, and the result.
The kids scored 100% on their tests.
And the key here isn't that they got 100%, it's how they got it. They learned faster and more deeply because the AI acted as this hyper-personalized tutor. It translated a boring curriculum into things I actually care about. That's the takeaway on learning. Don't use AI to bypass the work. Use it to level up your own understanding. I mean, if you don't understand a concept in a meeting, you can literally ask your AI, explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old who loves Star Wars, and it will.
Exactly. It removes the friction from learning. Now, once you start using AI to get smarter, you realize you can produce a lot more stuff. But that leads to a problem. If everyone can produce infinite content, infinite code, how do you stand out?
And that brings us to the second mindset shift. Taste.
Taste. It sounds a little subjective, maybe even a bit elitist.
Oh, he has expensive taste.
Right. But in this context, taste is defined as the ability to spot excellence instantly. As AI output becomes infinite, the cost of producing average work just drops to 0. So the human ability to curate, to say this is good, this is garbage, that becomes the ultimate value add.
There's a perfect analogy for this in the source material. Rick Rubin.
The legendary music producer.
Yes. The guy who looks like a wizard lies on a couch in the studio and has worked with everyone from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to Adele. But here's the thing. He has no technical musical ability. He can't play the instruments, can't engineer the soundboard.
But he knows what is great. He knows what moves him. He has this perfectly calibrated internal compass. And Martel argues that excellence isn't random, it's a pattern. Your brain learns to recognize it.
So the million-dollar question is, how do we build this taste? Because I feel like I could use a little more Rick Rubin energy in my life, but I don't have decades to sit in a studio.
Oh, well, the source outlines 3 ways, and the first is simply, proximity is power. You have to immerse yourself in excellence. If your friends, your coworkers, the people you spend your day with, if they aren't striving for the best, your pace meter never gets calibrated.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what a Michelin star meal tastes like if you only ever eat fast food. You just don't have the reference point.
Exactly. The second method is to study the masters. Look for the blueprints from the best in your field. Martel mentions that if you want to be great at startup pitches, don't just guess. Go to YouTube, search for pitch competition winners, and watch the best ones.
Don't ask AI to write the pitch until you know what a winning pitch looks like.
Precisely. And the third one is a personal favorite because it attacks a bad habit we all have.
Social media.
The doom scroll.
The doom scroll. Martel says we need to stop using it for brain rot and start using it as a masterclass. You need to curate your feed so you're following people who are 10 steps ahead of you. Whether you're a chef, a musician, an entrepreneur, fill your feed with the best.
So your feed actually feeds your mind.
Exactly. And there's one little mental trick he suggests. When you see something great, a post, a video, a product, don't just consume it. Pause and ask, why does this work? That question forces your brain to analyze the pattern. That's how you train your taste.
It's active consumption versus passive. Now, having taste helps you with what's happening right now. But if you want to win in the long run, you need the third mindset shift, vision.
Seeing around corners.
Right. Vision is defined here as seeing a future that doesn't exist yet, specifically looking about, say, 18 months ahead. The argument is that AI buys you the time to do this kind of deep thinking.
There's a wild story about this involving mountain biking.
Oh, yeah.
So Martel is out mountain biking, bombing down a hill, and he has this idea about the robotics industry. Most of us would have that idea, finish the ride, get a burger, and then just forget about it.
Right, because researching a global market is hard. You'd think, I don't have time to look up market caps and supply chains.
Exactly. But he pulls out his phone and opens an AI tool called Grok, specifically the heavy version. And he describes watching it work as if 100 analysts were doing research all at once.
That's the power. It just collapses the time between idea and verification.
In 27 minutes, less than a lunch break. It gave him data on pricing, market size, history. It gave him the data confidence to actually invest in the robotics space.
And that's the connection. The AI provided the data, but he had to have the vision to ask the question in the first place. He saw a dot on the horizon, and the AI handed him a telescope.
So how do we build this vision muscle? I can't say I have robotics epiphanies on my bike rides.
It starts with scheduling. You need to block out thinking time weekly, literally an appointment with yourself to just think about the future.
That sounds terrifyingly quiet. Most of us are addicted to being busy.
It is, but it's necessary. You can use that time for cross-industry study. Innovation often comes from outside your field. The classic example is Henry Ford, right? He didn't invent the assembly line by watching other car makers.
No, he saw it at a meatpacking plant in Chicago.
Exactly. He saw cows being disassembled on a line and thought, what if I did that in reverse for cars? That is vision.
Martel also suggests pressure testing your ideas with AI. This is something I want to try. He uses voice mode while he's out for a run and just talks to the AI.
It's like having a brilliant, tireless debate partner.
He'll say things like, what if I sold the company? Here are my reasons. Tell me why I'm wrong. Or I feel like I'm thinking too small. Force me to think bigger. He's asking the AI to challenge his own assumptions.
That is such a powerful use case. Instead of asking AI for answers, ask it to question you.
Okay, so we have learning, taste, and vision. But there's one thing AI, at least for now and probably for a long, long time, just cannot do.
Care.
And this brings us to mindset shift number 4. Care as the human moat.
A moat in business is your defense. It's what protects you. And Martel argues that while AI can mimic intelligence, it cannot mimic genuine care. And care, he defines as making other people's needs your own.
There's some really interesting data here because care sounds nice, like a greeting card, but it's actually hardcore business strategy.
It is. Look at the wealth creation statistics. Companies like NVIDIA created 28,000 millionaires. Microsoft created 12,000. Even Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in history, only owns about, 9% of Amazon?
Which means over 90% of the wealth Amazon created went to other people.
Exactly. The most successful founders didn't just hoard, they made other people rich. That is a form of structural care. If you want to succeed now, the human connection becomes the premium product.
So for the listener who manages a team or even just manages a household, what does actionable care look like?
First, you have to know the dream. You should be able to ask your employees or your clients, what does your dream life look like in 5 years? And actually know the answer.
And not just, oh, I want a raise?
No, specific details. Where do they want to live? What does the house look like? If you align company goals with their personal dreams, you don't have to micromanage them. They're driven by their own vision.
Another tip was about feedback loops.
Yes. Ask for feedback first. It shows vulnerability. If you ask someone, how can I be better? Before you critique them, you prove you care about the relationship.
And finally, public praise.
Crucial. Celebrate wins publicly on Slack, social media, whatever. Show everyone what excellence looks like. But if you have to criticize, you keep it private.
The philosophy he shares here really stuck with me. The point of business is to develop people. If you build the people, they build the business.
It shifts the focus entirely. If you're just in it to get rich, people burn out. If you're in it to build them up, they'll run through walls for you. AI can't inspire that kind of loyalty. Only a human can.
Okay, we've laid the groundwork. We've got the mindsets, learning, taste, vision, care, but now we need to bring it all together into the ultimate skill. This is the core thesis, right?
The director versus the doer.
This is the shift. Most people treat AI like a faster pair of hands. They're still the doer, just doing it quicker. To win, you have to become the director.
The analogy Martel uses is the self-driving car.
Right. It's like buying a self-driving car, but then keeping your hands white-knuckled on the steering wheel the whole time.
You have to learn to trust the automation. You have to take your hands off the wheel so you can look at the map. That's the fundamental shift.
So what does being a director look like in practice? Martel gives us a framework, the 10-80-10 rule.
This is a great one. The first 10% is you. That's the human part. Ideation, collaboration, setting the intent. What are we building and why?
Then comes that big middle 80%.
That's the AI, execution and production. Taking that input and doing all the heavy lifting, writing the code, drafting the copy, researching the data.
And then the final 10%.
That's you again. That's where taste comes back in. You integrate it, you polish it. It's Elon Musk presenting the product on stage. The AI built it, but the human directs the finish.
I love that. It stops you from getting bogged down in that messy middle part. But to make this work, you have to change how you talk to the AI. Martel talks about push versus pull prompting.
This is a subtle but really powerful difference. Push prompting is telling the AI exactly how to do something. Write an email that says X, Y, and Z.
Which is what most of us do.
Yeah.
We treat it like an intern who doesn't know anything.
Right. But pull prompting is telling the AI what you need and asking it to guide you. You say, I need to achieve this outcome. What questions do you need to ask me to get the best result?
Oh, I see. So you're letting the AI fill in the blanks.
Exactly. You're acknowledging that the AI might have more context or wisdom on the how than you do. You set the destination, let it navigate the route.
And finally, to be a true director, you have to embrace AI-first workflows. And Martel shares a story about his CFO that I think just destroys any excuse our listeners might have.
But I don't know how to code excuse.
Exactly. His CFO said, I can't automate our financials because I don't know how to code. And Martel just looked at him and said, ask the AI to write the code.
And he did. And it worked. The barrier to entry, that technical skill, has just been removed. If you can articulate the problem, the AI can help you build the solution. The excuse of not knowing how is gone.
That is both liberating and
Yeah,
a little bit terrifying.
it is. But it emphasizes the point. The skill isn't the coding. The skill is recognizing the bottleneck and directing the resource to fix it.
So if we zoom out, what does this all really mean for us?
The message is clear. The AI era isn't about becoming more robotic. It's not about technical nerdiness or obsessing over which model is slightly faster. It's about becoming a clear thinker who leads boldly and cares deeply.
It's the shift from human doing to human being.
Beautifully put, AI is here to amplify who you are. If you use it to automate the doing, you get time back. The real question is, what do you do with that time? You should use it to become more you, to lean into the things, the vision, the taste, the care that the machine can never touch.
That is a powerful thought to end on. We're not competing with the machines, we're directing them so we can be more human. Well, you've definitely given us a lot to think about during our next Thinking Time block. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your ideas for future episodes. See you next time.